This is the light radio cube, and as you can see, it is very small. This is 60 millimeters by 60 millimeters, and what we have in the cube is we actually have several components. We have the radio in the bottom, we have the amplifier in the middle. There's no parts on the board, but the amplifier goes there, and then we have the antenna element. Normally the amplifier is a big box that sits on the tower or down below. So the amplifier is in here. There's several advantages to that. Number one, you have an amplifier up to 5 watts in this. A smaller amplifier has less heat, which makes it more reliable. Now you take the cubes and you build one cube on top of another cube. So if I take them and I stack them this way, 1, 2, 3, up on top of one another, then I could add 5 watts, 5 watts, 5 watts on top. And so it makes a column of cubes. And when I have that column of cubes, that gives me the power. So maybe you want 40 watts, you would need 8 cubes. Now, these cubes are all connected to a backplane. And the backplane has the connections and the power. It also is where beamforming occurs. It helps, the electronics is what drives beamforming, and the beamforming will increase capacity of the cell by 30%. Very important for an urban area where you have lots of users. If one of the cubes goes bad, you still have the sector, you don't lose service, and at some point you pull it out and put a new cube in. This component is the passive element, so this is what generates and receives the signals from the amplifier and from the radio. It's very flexible, so I could have this as one frequency, say 2.6, and have another frequency of 2.1 perhaps, another frequency of 1.8 gigahertz perhaps. So this allows an operator to actually put 3 things in one box and put one thing on the building instead of 3 things on the building. So you're going to reclaim your urban skyline. So that's very important when you're dealing with cities and zoning boards and building owners who are starting to be concerned with too many antennas on the building. Now we could have one box representing multiple technologies or multiple frequencies on the building.